morning, mobile station.
Good morning everyone, and welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve for this sunrise safari. My name's Brent, I've got Andrew on camera with me, and we have Tara in final control, and the other vehicle we have James and VM. Well, quite an exciting start so far. We've got lots of leopard tracks around quarantine clearing, which is very, very exciting for us. There haven't been too many leopard too close to camp for a while, so I'm following up on tracks of a female, and James is following up on tracks of a male. Also, if anyone is new or not used to the safari live, we are live, so you are watching an African sunrise at the same time as us, wherever you might be in the world. We also are interactive, so you can ask us questions about what we're seeing on the drive, and you can do that by emailing us at questions@WildEarthTV, or if you're on Twitter, you can just use the hashtag SafariLive. And we're going to get straight onto these leopard tracks now. Really nice time in the morning to be tracking, so I'm excited to see what's out there. Aubrey coming. Morning, Orbs. There's a console for Madoda Ingwe on Mvula access. James, new presenter, is following up, and then I've got in console for Mafazi here heading north. What is your route?
Try to form a long South Road.
Okay, copy, thanks. I will take Gallagher shortcut.
Okay, good.
So there are the tracks of this leopard that we're following. Just get them from there, Andrew.
Brent and Aubrey, there are also tracks of a female with this male interspersed. I've just lost them. I think it's at the junction of, I think it's Gallagher shortcut on the access.
Copy, thanks James. I will continue around on shortcut and check the northern side. So it looks like the tracks that James is following and I'm following have actually come together, so I have a male and a female, but they have split again. So I'm going to shoot around. James is going to cover sort of the southwestern area of where the leopard tracks disappear, and I'm going to go to the northeast. So we're going to try loop around the block and try and increase our chances on finding at least one of these leopards.
Good morning, mobile station.
Morning, no updates yet, just tracks on Mafazi and on Madoda Ingwe on Mvula access between Shortcut and Aubrey's. Two stations are following up in the area.
Now you can
Sorry guys, Game Drive channel is a bit busy at the moment. So what normally happens at this time of the morning, where everyone's coming out from whatever lodge or wherever they are, there's a lot of planning and chatting. We're all letting each other where we go, let each other know where we're going, so we can maximize the amount of ground we cover and hopefully maximize the amount of animals we can find. It's about 16 degrees Celsius at the moment, which is 61 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun, as Andrew was just showing you, is popping up over the horizon. Nice time in the morning to be out, one of my favorites. Even better that we've got fresh leopard tracks to follow. So James is on the actual tracks, and what we're going to do is we're going to try zoom ahead. So what we do is try loop around the block, get in front of where the leopards might possibly be going. So if the tracks don't come out there, then we know for sure that the leopards are within a certain area, and that obviously makes it a lot easier for us to find. So finding animals is very much a team game. We're also listening for any alarm calls of different animals, everything from birds like Franklin to even the tiniest little cysticula, which is the tiny little brown bird, to impala, nyala, kudu. All those little things might be able to let us know where the animal might be. So there is some dung here on the road. I'm just going to have a quick look at it. So it is leopard dung, but it is probably from yesterday at some point. It is hard already, so it's not fresh. And you noticed I did not touch that dung with my hands like I do with dung of an impala or wildebeest or anything like that. Predators have a huge amount of parasites. Oh, what was that flying across there? We're going to try. Disappearing. It was an African fish eagle with something in its talons. Don't think it was a fish. It looked more like maybe a duck. And fish eagles do that quite often. They do not only eat fish, but they will eat ducks and monitor lizards and other creatures. They are predators after all, and most predators are opportunists. Morning, Craig, go ahead. Oh, morning, Lee. Thanks very much, Craig. I think Aubrey is heading into that area. Just track some I don't have my fuzzy Ingler on Gallagher, sorry, on via tele-access. 2 stations are following up in the area. Hi Dylan, welcome on the Sunrise Safari. Dylan would like to know if there's ever a fun competition between the guides as to who can find the most leopards. I would say most definitely, Dylan. Yeah, definitely. Yes, there is, and it's good because it creates a bit of healthy competition, and it gets all of us looking for more animals. Secret, I win most of the time. It's very busy. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to hear what's going on. It's like our sort of morning meeting updates. There's tracks over here, there's tracks over there, lions were seen last night over there, so quite important to listen to the radio first up in the morning. no mittens this morning. My hands are getting a bit chilly. So wherever we have a junction of roads, we always check very carefully for tracks, because a lot of animals, especially the predators, like to use the roads as highways. It's like a nice big game path for them. At the moment I'm seeing just a lot of hyena tracks. What we're doing now is we've travelled quite a long way down this road, and there are no tracks coming out, so we're ruling out the chance of the leopards moving this way. So from here we're going to cut further west. So guys, while we continue tracking around here, we're going to cross over to James, and who's also tracking, so you can get an update from him, and we'll be back with you a little later and drive. So enjoy.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Greater Limpopo Transfrontier Park and the small section of it that we operate on. Vion has found us a glorious sunrise. He won't show you his thumb because it's covered in a fairly grubby white glove at the moment. And as Brent, I believe, has told you, we are following up on the trail of two leopards, a male and a female. I'm starting to feel that my presence in the area is chasing the leopards away, but I'm going to continue on the trail. We've got tracks. We have some hyenas shouting just inside this block here to my right-hand side, just towards the sun there. So we think maybe the leopards have gone in there. They're off the road now, so we're going to continue following up and see what we can find. Remember, any questions you have, please send through, and hashtag handle Safari Live, or on the email questions@WildEarthTV. I always have to think about that before I get it right. Normally mix them up. So here we go. Welcome. Good to have you here. Let's see what we can find. Golden sunrise this morning. One wolf has asked a question, welcome to the African morning, about, we've had this question before about slit eyes versus round eyes in house cats and domestic cats. Although it looks like although it looks like the big cats out here have got round pupils, they are slightly elliptical. They're probably more so in the evening. They are rounder, but they are also slightly elliptical, so not like the canine eyes. I'm just going to pay quite close attention to the radio at the moment, just while we're following up the trail of these leopards, because we're not the only ones. Female tracked together, the obvious inference is that they are mating. It looks like an adult male to me on the track. The female is quite a small female. I'm just going to take a radio call from Brent. Standing by, Brent.
What's the last direction on that track here?
The track's headed east into the block of Aubrey's towards Gallagher Shortcut. Aubrey is following up from with the tracker in front of the car. He's in front of me now. He was on Aubrey's.
Probably there's a kind of rail track come out on the fire break to the west of Aubrey. I'm not sure whether they're from yesterday possibly, but then head straight down the boundary. It's supposed to be in this area. I'm going to get out and go follow up on the port of line tracks crossing the south side around Weaver's there.
Okay, thank you. Brent is going to go and follow up on some lion tracks, which is quite exciting. Not quite as exciting as actually finding the animal, but we live in hope. We're going to carry on with the leopard and try and break my duck. Go again with that, Aubrey.
Checking the local shortcut.
Negative, not at the moment. I was going to head on that, but we'll be in front of it. We're just going to turn around here. Aubrey, one of the rangers from another
I checked
lodge.
the Gallagher shortcut earlier. I'm not sure on fuzzy
and he's going round. This way, we're going to go around the other side.
About halfway down Sandy Beach. It looks like they're in kind of slightly north into the block, sort of towards the quarry, heading into that direction.
So like I say, the inference is that they're probably mating. I believe somebody told me across the space of the World Wide Web that Karula has been mating in the last few weeks. So it's possible that she's still in estrus and attracting the attentions of a male. I'm not sure who the male would be, given that Chingana was quite a long way away yesterday on that Impala kill. So it would be quite interesting to find them both. Well, in fact, it would be spectacular to find them both. Rosalie in Georgia, welcome to the morning. Sorry, 1 second, Rosalie. Jackal. What's it called? A side striped jackal. I'm just going to wait here. They're normally quite skittish. You hear the birds shouting at him? Now, those birds shouting at it are called a rattling testicular. And they're often something to listen out for if you're tracking predators. And that side-striped jackal is quite interesting because unlike most canids, it's actually quite omnivorous. So it will eat quite a lot of fruit. Here he comes. Beautiful. That's a great sighting of a side-striped jackal. Isn't that stunning? I've never had a sighting of a side-striped jackal like this. They're normally far less confiding. Look at the dove, just landed in front of him. It's called an emerald spotted wood dove. Let me just check that. Oh, I made a mistake. Yeah, emerald spotted wood dove. And all around the dawn chorus is singing. We've got long-billed crombecs to the left. The testiculars to the right. Black-crowned chagra in the distance. We had southern boo-boo earlier. So the side-striped jackal is often alone. They have been known to live in, or they would normally live in a pair, but often found foraging alone. And they're the less common of the two jackal species we get here. Lucy in Indiana, welcome to the morning, and that was your question we answered. Thank you very much for it. So normally often a solitary animal, but will live in a mated pair. And that pair bond probably lasts for most of the jackal's life. They only live about 5 years in the wild, probably up to 10 in captivity. This is by far the best sighting of a side-striped jackal I've ever had. Something's caught his attention off to the left there. Donna on Twitter would like to know if he has a neck wound. Donna, I can't see exactly. It would seem that there is some congealed material underneath his jaw. Yeah, that could be a wound. It's definitely some kind of blood. Yeah, well spotted, Donna. Looks like some kind of wound. Probably from a fight of some sort. That would be exactly where a hyena or another jackal would go for a sort of killing bite. So he's had a bit of a rough night, which is probably why he's so alert, although he's quite relaxed. The jackal is a much maligned animal, known supposedly for its cunning, and by cunning I mean sort of nefarious mind. But they're actually incredibly stunning animals and not that common in this area. There's a glorious white tip to his tail. We'll follow him at a distance. I suspect he'll nip off the road if we get much closer than we are now. You can see as soon as we start the vehicle, he reacts. So like I was saying, unlike his cohort, the black-backed jackal, he will also eat quite a lot of fruit. Lisa in Syracuse, welcome to the morning. Would like to know how big a jackal's territory is. It's difficult to say, Lisa. A black-backed jackal will normally have a core area of territory which would encompass a clearing and possibly it could be a small clearing, probably about, say, 300 by 300 meters, and then from there they probably range out and not mark as ardently as they would in that initial core area. The side-striped jackal, I'm not sure, but probably you'll find they'll have a core area of similar size, which they mark and defend quite aggressively, and then they'll range wider to feed. Right, well, he seems to have disappeared, so we're going to carry on the trail of the leopard. Going to try and get an update from the radio. Stand by 1 bridge.
Ready, Chris? Standing by. Brent, what lock are you reporting?
Jeffrey in Texas would like to know if that jackal was an adult or not. It was an adult, a pretty big adult.
Copy, so just confirm Mvula starting is running. Confirm, charge. Copy, thank you. Check what we're going to do there, and then one while it's there.
Okay, so it looks like they found the leopard. We're going to try and get in there. Aubrey, do you copy? Please can you go with the location of that sighting? I'm on my way there. Aubrey or Brent, please go with the location of that sighting.
Put a hole in front of Gallagher Camp.
I'm coming down the vehicle access. It's really exciting.
Okay. Gallagher shortcut to the right access. Just go ahead, just go down there and go to the 21 hole in front of Gallagher Camp.
Okay, copy, thanks very much. You copy that, Bjorn? At the water hole just in front of Gallagher Camp.
Yeah, that's where,
Yeah. You're going to go a bit quicker. Okay, so what's happened is that those tracks that we were finding, that we were following earlier, has been found just near from where we are now. So I'm going to drive quite quickly to get there, just in case they move. It's really exciting, glorious leopard in the morning. Kathy in Memphis, Tennessee, welcome to the morning. Would like to know if that jackal that we saw is a dog or a cat. The jackal is most definitely a dog. It's a canid. Morning, Lynn. Welcome to the morning. You'd like to know why jackals only live till about 5 in the wild. Difficult to answer. Sorry, just hold on, Lynn. I'm just trying to figure out where the leopard sighting is. Here a road going. Then jackals or most canids only live to about 5 or 6 out here. Wild dogs the same. I couldn't answer you as to why they don't live as long as they do sort of domestically. They certainly live longer in captivity than they would out here. had the leopard here. Aubrey managed to find her. We're just going to figure out where she is before we move in.
Went down here, but I was stopping there now. Here, the Yano calling.
Okay. Drag him down the road. Well done. Just the one, the female. Okay, male. Okay, so we're looking at a male leopard here, hopefully. Just gone down in there. Really will be very upset if we don't find him. I have seen him though. Hear the bird's alarm calling down there. Keep going along here a little. We're going to go in there. Follow Aubrey, who has actually seen the leopard. Got a better idea of its direction. There we go, they've spotted him. Hold on while we try and find out what's going on. Just going to look down here briefly. Watch your head. have him on the road there. As soon as you see the big camera lenses coming up, in there. He's just off in this thick bush here. He is moving. Which one? He's gone through here. We will follow up on the road. I don't want to plow through there. Okay. We're just going to push our way in. Again. Jan, any sight? Nothing yet. Very unkind that we haven't managed to find him. It seems he's behind us. I can see nothing in here. It's blinding me. If you don't work with these animals, you don't appreciate them quite. Otherwise. Can you see him?
Yeah.
Isn't that spectacular? I actually can't see him. Only you guys can. I'm stuck behind a porcupine bush. Oh, there he is. I mean, that is just really special to be this close to one of Africa's most spectacular cats. Oh, that's epic. My first leopard. I'd love to know which leopard this is. If any of you have any idea, please send through some feedback for me. He's been in the odd war, this chap. His ears are pretty gnarled up. Just like your house cat having a morning clean. I'm not sure if you can see or not, but we're only about 10 meters from him, if that, probably 5 meters from him, and he's completely relaxed in our presence.
Six meters according to the camera's focus reading.
Did you hear that? Vian says 6 meters according to the camera's focus reading. What a beautiful animal. The power in his front shoulders. But unkind of him to lie down backwards to us like that. I'm not going to move us at the moment. There's quite a lot of activity around him, and I don't want to disturb him too much. Beautifully backlit there. So, as far as we know, the female hasn't been seen, and they were definitely tracking each other this morning. Liz in Wisconsin, welcome to this glorious African morning. Liz, you'd like to know if he's eaten since he ate a hare with Mark. I'm assuming therefore that you've recognized this leopard, probably Mvula then. I have no idea, I'm afraid. He looks pretty well fed, but certainly not just off the back of a big kill. So we may have had another hare or two, but he hasn't eaten anything big since then. He's clearly quite tired after the evening's exertions. I'm not going to move around the front of him just yet. We're just going to leave him to go. Leave him to lie there for a while. Thank you to all of you who've let me know that this is indeed Mvula. Lisa Osborne especially, who says he's 10 years old, so he's a male in his prime. And you can see that as soon as he stands up, of course. I mean, he's a really big, solid fellow. And he's been through the odd war, as evidenced by his lacerated ears. So he's earned his rights wherever he is. just going to sit here another 5 minutes or so to make sure that he's not going to move, and if he doesn't move we'll try and get round the front of him so we can get a look at his face. It's just stunning the way the morning light catches a leopard's coat. There's no pelage quite like that. Each rosette perfectly formed on his back. I believe he's got an eye injury, and you'd like to know if it's better. I didn't know about that, but let's see if we can't find out. Hold on a second, I'll see if I can get a view in the front. We are in a hugely thick area here. Okay, I'm just going to go. See him?
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm going to go out on the road. Predict his movement there. See him? There he is. Let's see if I can't get round the front of him. Now this will stay with him, so just hold on tight and bear with me. I'm going to try and get round the front. He's just in here. Would like to know how Mvula was injured on his ears. Michael, it's difficult to say, but you've mentioned thorns, you've mentioned fights with other leopards. All of those could cause those injuries, and those look to me like battle scars. So I suspect quite strongly that those are fights with other leopards. some of you may have even seen adult life. There he is. You can just see his spots. I'm just going to zoom in through there. I'm going to get you have a look at the spots there. You see him? Leon? He's there, just if you go slightly.
I haven't, but it's obstructed.
Oh, I see, okay. We'll try and go around there. Not being particularly confiding. Moving. There you go. Let's just wait here and see what he does. I've had a pretty good view so far. I don't want to disturb him too much. Look at his face. Noreen in Wisconsin, welcome to the African morning from your American evening. You'd like to know if these leopards purr like sort of a domestic cat would. The answer is no, they don't purr, but they do make other kind of vocal noises. Remember that the members of this cat genus, which is Panthera, which includes the lions, leopards, tigers, and jaguars. I think the jaguar is a similar genus. If they have what we call an ossified larynx, so the larynx is hard, which means they can't make soft sounds like, say, a domestic cat can. They might grunt in sort of appreciation at times, but they don't purr, because remember they want to spend as little time drawing attention to themselves as possible, and any sound that comes out of that immense throat that they have, it tends to be a fairly blood-curdling growl. From cheetah, though, I have heard cheetah make a purring noise. They don't have the same ossified larynx or bony larynx, and so they're able to make a more sort of purring sound. Judy, welcome to the morning. Do we get cheetahs in this area? The answer would be yes, but rarely. Cheetah, remember, is a courser, so not a stalker like a leopard is, and so they need space to run. And this area is not ideal if your top speed is over 100 kilometers an hour, that's 60 miles an hour. You can imagine trying to run at that speed through this bush. So cheetahs like more clear areas, but that's not to say that we wouldn't find them passing through an area like this. They tend to be less territorial in the face of pressure than the other cats, and so yeah, we may well find them passing through here, but they're not common. I'm going to try and sneak around and see if we can't get a better look. Of course, he'll probably move almost immediately. everybody duck down. Maybe leave it. Going to get a view of him from here, so I'm going to have to go around the other side if we get him. Okay, we're going to go around the other side. We can't see him yet. Asponag. Dajiga kwale. Shafam. Okay. My may destroy the vehicle in the process of this little exercise. Right, we're out of the thick stuff. We'll try and get back in there now. This looks like a better area to go into. There he is. Pull slightly back so that you get a better view of his face. There we go. That's a much better view. Still cleaning himself after a night of hunting and territory marking. And from the tracks that we saw this morning, probably also following a female. It's such a privilege to spend time with a cat this relaxed. Green? Yeah, we want to go. Okay, you can see. Get on. Helen Fowler, thanks very much for the information on this leopard's offspring. I believe he has already mated with Karula and produced some offspring. Thanks for that. And I suspect he's trying for a repeat performance now, given the tracks that we saw this morning. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but the most sort of accepted way of identifying leopards is from the unique spot pattern that occurs just above the whiskers. And while we can recognize him from his tattered ears, his ears will either become more tattered or heal, and things will change over time. But that spot pattern remains the same from when they're cubs. It looks to me like he's got 3 spots there on his left-hand side, and I can't see on his right. And so often what happens is that a new leopard will come into an area and people will start guessing frantically as to who he is and where he's come from and who his parents could be and who his mother could be, and we get very enthusiastic about predicting the family trees. But unless you can get a very distinct or very definitive look at that spot pattern, or perhaps some other definitive spotting on the body, it's very difficult to say which leopards are which. Lisa in Syracuse, welcome again. I hope you're enjoying the sighting. You would like to know, if Karula is 10 years old, how many breeding seasons she has left. Well, we wouldn't really talk about breeding seasons with leopard. We would probably just talk about it in terms of litter. If she produces a litter, and that litter survives, or even one of those cubs survive, they will stay with her for about 18 months to 2 years. She will probably then mate again 6 months after that. So you can say that she'll produce cubs on average between every 2 months and at least 2 years and 10 months to 3 years. So given that it's unlikely she'll produce a litter after the age of 16, she's probably got another 2 litters to go. Sometimes that breeding interval can be brought down, so say the cubs leave her earlier than 2 years, she'll mate again pretty soon after that. So she's got between probably 2 and 3 chances to breed again. I don't know how many litters she's produced. I think she's produced 4 litters before, so she's probably got quite a low birthing interval period. Be very unlikely for a female to produce cubs after the age of 16, but not impossible. Now you can imagine, some of you have been with me for the last few days while we've been chasing around leopards, how easy it would be to miss an animal like this in the grass, how many we may have driven past. Now, while Mvula takes the strain off his evening, we're going to cross it to Brent, who is tracking some lions. I'm not sure which pride, but let's go and see how he's doing.
Welcome back, everyone. I have been having a fantastic time with James and Mvula. We tracked those other female leopard tracks. Unfortunately, they crossed off out of our northern boundary. So then we've been tracking a male lion the rest of the morning, and he's crossed out of our eastern boundary. So the tracks just aren't happening with us this morning. We've now just found quite fresh female leopard tracks. So we're going to follow up on these for a while, and hopefully our luck changes. We heard some kudu alarm calling earlier, but it was really far from us, and we couldn't figure out exactly. And it was in one of these big areas where there's no roads. So hopefully, whatever they were alarming at does venture out onto a road, or we are able to track her to where she is. Let's carry on. Gonzo of Amafazi Ingwe heading west on Pepper Pools Road. I'm going to be following up. So we're going to be checking very carefully. There's a split in the road coming up, and one of the splits goes straight to Buffelshoek Dam. So I'm hoping that she goes that way. It's also a much nicer road to track on than the other, but of course she doesn't. Oh dear. Well, this is where it gets confusing again. This track's going in the opposite direction as well. Let's check here. Very carefully we want to check. Make sure we don't miss a track. So it doesn't look like she came down here. It looks like she did a little U-turn over there. Let's go back to that last track and see what was going on. So she came down here, and then the next track I see is going back up the opposite direction. And then looks like she's coming onto here. Any tracks there on your side, Andrew? Okay. So I'm just going to jump out of the vehicle for a second and see if I can figure out exactly what's going on. These are really nice fresh tracks. Very, very strange happenings here. Very strange. I'm just going to sit here for a little bit and keep quiet and see if we hear any alarm calls. But I'm definitely going to need a bit more time to try and figure out. There are tracks going in 3 different directions. I'm not sure what's going on here, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to work it out. I'm going to try to cheat a little bit and listen for alarm calls quickly. I don't hear anything just yet. What I'm going to do is it's just very strange, these tracks up and down, round in circles. I'm just going to take a guess quickly and shoot down towards Buffelshoek Dam, and then if we get nothing there, then I'll come back to this area. Let's see. Well, there we go. So I mean, there's tracks going this way, there's tracks going this way, there's tracks going that way. Very strange. So I'm trying to check down this road a bit further. Her general direction was this way, towards Buffelshoek Dam. Quite strange. There's been quite a lot of strange leopard tracks in this area recently. Definitely seems like something going on, and this is not very far from where we saw that new female wolf. The new female for me about a week ago, a Mvula. So in case you guys are new, we are live, so you're tracking a leopard live with me in the African bush, Djuma Private Game Reserve here in South Africa. We're also interactive, so you can send us questions, and you can do that by emailing us questions at WildEarthTV, or you can use the hashtag Safari Live if you're on Twitter.
So the first night, so you can Ghana was first 6 West that line, because moved very differently.
Marianne from Arkansas. Welcome on the Sunrise Safari. Marianne said, could it be a mating dance from all those tracks going in different directions? I don't think so, Marianne. It's just tracks of a single female. I don't think there's more than one leopard there. So probably not. I think she either heard something or smelled something that kept her interested in that area. So I'm just double checking that she hasn't come down towards the water. If she hasn't, we're going to loop back around and go check in that area again. But yes, the boundaries have been my nemesis today. Oh, there's a hippopotamus. So at Buffalo's Hook Dam now, so let's stand by for a few seconds and listen again and have a look at the hippo. So we can't hear anything. Still listening for alarm calls. Looks like a young hippo bull who's got Buffalo's Hook Dam to himself. Been pushed out of one of the other dams where there's lots of females of that by an older male. Very quiet here at Buffalo's Hook Dam. I'm going to continue on, see if we don't have any other luck with those tracks. Basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut down this road, which runs to the east of Buffalo's Hook Dam, and then we definitely contracted the area we have to look to just this one large patch of bush. So while we're searching for this leopard, I'm going to ask you guys a question. And I don't know what type of quiz you guys would like to play this morning on the Sunrise Safari. So why don't you let me know whether you would like a question on plants, on trees and flowers, or on animals, or on mammals, reptiles, snakes, spiders, scorpions. You guys let me know what type of quiz you'd like this morning, and you can do that by emailing questions@WildEarthTV, or you can just use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. Anything? So we're not finding any tracks so far. So while we keep searching, we're going to cross over to James, see how he's doing with Mvula, and we'll be back with you a little later.
Okay.
Welcome back, everyone. We're still here with Mvula. You can see that he's obviously had a bit of a tough night out, and so he's having a hard sleep. It's still magnificent to see a cat like this sleeping. His heaving belly. You can see, as Vian pointed out to me quite nicely, he has definitely eaten something last night, but it's highly unlikely that it was anything very large, because he then would have stashed it and kept it in a tree, unless he's had it stolen by hyenas. It may have been another scrub hare or two. Lifted his face to say goodbye to the other guests who are here. So you can see very clearly now the 3 spots on the left-hand side of his face. Oh, his eyes are getting very heavy and out.
Yeah.
Jeffrey in Texas, welcome to this magnificent sighting of this great African cat. You've asked a question about a leopon, which is a hybrid between a leopard and a lion, and whether that happens in the wild. It doesn't happen in the wild. In fact, it's almost... Nothing's impossible in nature, but I'd say it's almost impossible. I'd be 99.9% sure that it would be impossible for it to happen in the wild, because a lion will normally kill a leopard if they get within close enough proximity. Mating would just not happen out here. That said, I'm sure your question is born of a knowledge that they have hybridized in captivity before. Often animals of the same genus will be able to hybridize in captivity. So horses and donkeys are the same genus, Equus, and so they are often able to hybridize, but they don't produce what we call viable offspring. So that's offspring that can mate. The same can be said for the leopon and for the liger, which is a mixture between a tiger and a lion, which also happens in captivity, probably more frequently than with the leopards and lions because of the size difference. Tigers and lions are more similar size, but none of those animals are in fact viable. They're all sterile, like a mule. Ramey, welcome to this great sighting of Mvula. You've asked, will it be difficult for him to take down big prey as he gets older? The answer is, of course, yes. As he gets older, his strength will start to wane in the next 4 years. Probably when he's about 14, his strength will start to go down. That's not to say that he will be unable to live beyond 14 years, but his strength will start to ebb from then. And so his ability to take down things like an adult female kudu, which is probably around about the size limit of what he can take now, his ability to do that will slowly disappear with his strength. Very old leopards are often the most dangerous to humans, if you can describe a leopard as dangerous, simply because they start to go for weaker and weaker prey. They'll eat more carrion, and they'll take an old and sick leopard will become more and more desperate. Just going to pull out, and while Mvula rests his weary head in the grass, I'm just going to tell you about a tree, or ask you about a tree first. You can see this tree above me here. Maybe also seeing the leopard's ears twitching as I picked it. This tree, we looked at its cousin yesterday. And from here up to Ethiopia, this tree is commonly known as the toothbrush tree. It's become such a cliche that I'm not going to show you why it's called the toothbrush tree. I'm not going to give you its real name because I'm going to allow you to try and find that out for me. But what I will say to you is that it gets its name because it's used as a divining rod. And for those who are not sure what that means, a divining rod is a Y-shaped stick that some people say they can use to tell if there's underground water or not. And this tree is traditionally used in Africa as a divining rod, and its specific Latin name comes from its ability to be used to divine water. It also produces a delicious, deep sort of purple berry come the summertime. Important source of food for monkeys, for people, and it makes a very sort of purpley red dye, which is quite nice. Very common tree for Mvula to mark his territory in because it's so seldom eaten. Noreen, I believe you'd like to know the difference between a leopard and a panther. A panther, traditionally, as far as I'm aware, is the term used for a black leopard or a melanistic leopard. Now, what a melanistic leopard, like the one, for example, found in storybook fable, like the Jungle Book, the black leopard in that, or the black cat, the panther in that story is in fact a black leopard. And what happens there is that there's a genetic aberration where the white, or the white in the fur is actually much darker, and it happens across species, it happens across classes. So, you get melanistic Gabbar goshawks, for example, or melanistic leopards. There have even been, I think there are 1 or 2 records of melanistic lions. So a panther is a melanistic or black leopard, and a black leopard is it's sort of a very dark chocolatey brown color, but in good light, you will see that it still has the same spots. Not a great color to be out here, and that's why it hasn't sort of made a greater evolutionary mark in the world, but in deep forest, that's normally where you'll find it. It's still extremely rare, but it's a much better color to be if a leopard is living in deep forests.